Once I, put it in my mind that, my daddy was dead and gone, and if I didn't make a change, and he was left here at 32, and I'm 70 now. So that lets me know that I've done something right, because if I kept going the way that I was going, I might have left here before 32, But I've enjoyed this Christian walk, and even in this community, even here, when I came here, there was a lot of young men won't come into church. And Soul City, Tom Oakley Road. This is Tom Oakley, that's Dick Holman. Soul City's on Dick Holman. And I would, go down, visit some of my members. Some of my older members lived down there, and I would go visit them when they were sick. Well, across the street, I would see a group of the fellas out there. And so I'd just go over there, and they playing cards or whatever. And I stand there, watch them, laugh and talk with them. And they'll tell me right now, say, you one of the only preachers that I know that didn't condemn us, when we were doing stuff like that. I got some deacons here now, and they'll tell you what they used to do, and they'll tell you that I didn't look down on them. I know when I was at Jones Chapel, and one of the men was an alcoholic, and bless the lady, she's dead and gone now, but she said, you know what, you one of the only preachers that ever been to our house and seen my brother and did not condemn him for what he was doing. I said, well, that's between him and God, and ain't between me and God. Now I have to preach what I preach. As God gives me the word, I have to do that. But as far as look down, I said, that means I have to look down on myself, turn my nose up at myself first, if I have to turn my nose up at him, because I got flaws just him. You just don't see them, and I ain't gonna tell you about them. But he's just so I didn't open with his, So that's when you turn your nose down. You don't know what their story is, and that's what I try to tell my folk here when we begin to complain about this one and complain about that one. Do you know their story? Do you know why? Do you know? No. Well, when you find out the story, then we can sit down and talk. And 9 times out of 10, they'll come back month, year two later on. Reverend, I understand what you were trying to convey to me there. Yeah, I'll say, okay. We through with it. I'm through with it then. I said, now remember that the next time. Hopefully, folk can know the story, before you start talking about stuff. And I think that's one of the things that one of my superintendents, bless his heart, died. Maybe a year. Has it been a year now he's been dead? Maybe so. But got involved in some stuff, and he came and told me what happened. He said, do you want me to resign? I said, well, what you want to do? He said, well, I love this, doing what I'm doing. I said, well, what do you think you need to do? He said, I think I need to apologize to the church. I said, well, apologize to the church. Okay. And sure enough, I went back into my office and happened to come back and heard him standing up here telling him what had happened, And he told him that he had talked to me about the situation, and he said it was up to me, and the church accepted it, And my thing about that is too, if we condemn everybody that fall and make a mistake, ain't gonna have nobody in the church. If you're honest with yourself, and I tell them, start with me. You know, you want somebody to leave because they did something wrong. I said, well, y'all come help me pack my stuff up so I can go. And they say, Reverend, you crazy. I said, no, I'm telling you the truth. You know, start with me. You know, and then you come next.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get toward the end and kind of talk about your desires for this community that you worked in for so long. What have you seen that you're really proud of in this community, and what do you desire for this community to be?
Well, I tell you, when I started working on my theses, my subject was growing the Black Baptist Church in a declining community, a declining atmosphere. And the first thing I had to do was go to the Person County building and get statistics of folk coming in, folk leaving out. And those statistics showed me we're living in a decline. It was a declining community. Now, mind you, I started working on this for 2015. And when I took that back to the board, the professor, the one to accept your subject, they said, this right here done answered your whole question. Said, how you gonna grow your church in a declining community? Are you gonna go to the other church down the road and steal members, or how you gonna do it? So they made me change my the subject, work on something else to enabling members through membership and membership training, empowering members through membership and membership training and discipleship training in New York Presbyterian Baptist Church. They said, well, what you're going to have to do is grow from inside the church out, which made a lot of sense. So that meant that what? By me trying to get my little education, if I could pour into the church, those that are in the church, pour into those that are into the church, then hopefully they'll go out and touch the community. That's what I want to see. And one thing that one of my professors told me, he said, you want to get that church back to the heyday, don't you? I said, yeah, well, what's wrong with that? He said, nothing. He said, but in a declining environment, you can't do it unless you start from the inside and then expand outside, which made a lot of sense. So that again, that goes back to something I wanted to do to not only help me, but kind of help my community. And I would love to see this church back to the heyday, back when I had my 18, 19 men back there. I had folks standing up around the wall every Sunday. I would love to see that. At one time I had a youth choir, had 20-something folk. Some of them got their education, moved off to wherever they were at school at. That's where they stayed. Some got their education, moved. Some got married, moved. Don't come back to the area. So the only way that you can do it is from the inside out. So you kind of beating your head against a wall trying to grow from the outside and bring people in. And so what I've just learned to do is just do the best I can with what I got. Long as if I can get somebody saved, that's the whole key. If I can just say a word, you ain't got to shout on, but if I can say a word on Sunday morning that'll cause you to think or rethink, then that's good. I feel like my job has been done.